and to all those who are going to be connected. We have taken the initiative to start this business discussion during this period of confinement so as to occupy us. We all know that the world and humanity is going through a very tough moment. But to us entrepreneurs, tough moments are moments of reflections, are moments where we build, not moments of complaint. We think that this period is a period for us to reflect, learn new things, evaluate our business journey, and come out with something concrete. Because one thing is certain, the COVID-19 saga is not going to last forever. It is going to have its end someday. And for us entrepreneurs and those who are involved in business, it is an opportunity to always reflect, come up with something so that at the end of it, we can come up with tangible business solutions. And today we decided to talk about unrealistic business expectations. Sometimes we get into business with expectations. Might be because you are opportune, you come across an opportunity and you think that you can get into business. Might be you admire someone who has been in business for years and you think it's an opportunity to get into business, which is fine. In our discourse today, we are going to be focusing on two aspects. The first one is expectation, and the second is business. Now, we all know that if we have to take the global definition of business, business is anything that you do that can make you earn money. In fact, business is anything whatsoever that you do that can make you earn money. It can be that you are buying and selling. It can be that you are offering services. It can be that you are a solution provider. For example, the COVID-19 saga is presently going on, and there are many people who are providing solutions. For example, we have many people who have come up with businesses such as home services. That is a solution. So, that is business. Anything whatsoever that you do that can make you earn money is business. And now, let's look at expectations. The truth is that there is no business without expectations. If you are going into business without an expectation, it is better not to go into. It's just like getting up in the morning, leaving the house without knowing where you're going to. You need to have a sense of direction. And that sense of direction is your expectations. So it is not a bad thing to have an expectation. But our concern here tonight is that expectation which is unrealistic. And I know some people will be asking themselves, can there be unrealistic expectations? Yes, they are. They are. And we come across them on a daily basis. And I must tell you that unrealistic expectation is one of the reasons why people go out of business. We all know that every big business starts small. There is nothing that starts big. When we talk about unrealistic expectation, we mean starting your business small with such a big and huge expectation. And sometimes these expectations is motivated by your desire to be like somebody, by your envy to be like a brother, a sister. Maybe you see a brother who is doing business and you want to be like him. He's riding in big cars. You think that as you're starting business today, in the next 2-3 months, you should also ride in big cars. That is what makes your expectation unrealistic. Because that brother or that person you see is riding on big cars did not start yesterday to ride on big cars today. When you come up with expectations that are bigger than your business itself, it makes it completely unrealistic. Imagine, for example, you're starting your business with a small capital of 1,000 euro, for example, or 650,000 francs for those who are in Cameroon, or $1,000, and your expectations is such that is equal to somebody whose capital is $1 million. It's impossible. You can't. It cannot go. When you start your business small, let your expectation be at your reach. You should be able to attain what you can attain. Don't go for something so big. And at times when we go for bigger expectation, it becomes a fairy tale. To the extent we think that everything is just going to be very smooth. We're just going to get things realized. And these expectations, which is always something good, which is normal, want to attain, want to achieve, they englobe us to the extent we don't even see the effort behind. We don't even see what we need to put behind. We don't even see the challenges that may come our way. We just feel that because we have started business with such great expectations, we are going to arrive at them sooner or later. And when we don't, we become so discouraged about our businesses. We become so troubled that the quickest solution is usually to give up, to make a U-turn. So I thought it was going to be fabulous, but look at the situation today. That's why you hear somebody will say, I've tried business twice, thrice, and I have failed. Because what that person understands as success is different from what business success is all about. We are talking about unrealistic expectation. And don't misquote us. We are not saying to have an expectation is not proper. Because you must have an expectation. We are not saying you must not set business objective. But don't go into business thinking business is all about a fairy tale. It will not work. When you go into business with such vision and in your head you think it's just going to be easy. I'm starting this business this year. By next year, I'm going to buy a very big car. I'm starting this business this year. By next year, I should be living in my own house. It's good. But have you asked yourself what it takes to reach at that expectation? That is where the problem is. Sometimes the expectation may be very big, but are our expectations equal to our resources? You're starting a business today and you think you can achieve what businesses that have been for 20 years with maybe 300 members, 300 workers. You think you can do the same? You cannot. You're starting your business today as an entrepreneur, and maybe your capital is small, which is normal. It's not a bad thing to begin to start business with a small capital. Are your expectations at your reach? Don't look at someone whose business has become so big and think you can rub shoulder with that person. Don't think you can compete with businesses that have many years of existence. It's not possible. You need to understand that your resources cannot give you access to such big expectations. So you need to take your time. Having your expectations must also go in line with the energy you have to put in that business. Business is not all about fairy tale. The truth is that at times when we see people who have been successful in business, we think that they just got up in the morning and they succeeded. No. No way. There are some people whom you see their successes after countless failures. It is true that no one expects to fail, but my dear, when you're going into business, be ready to fail. Be ready for failure such that when that failure comes, you don't see it as your end point, but you see it as the continuity of your business vision. That is what makes business. That is what makes success. I want us to understand. I'll use a simple, I love football so much, and I know most of you do. Didier Deschamps, the present football coach of France, when he took up the French national team, the first competition he went for the World Cup 2014 in Brazil. I think he came out, he was disqualified from the second round of the competition, if I'm not mistaken. He kept on going. 2016 Euro Nation Cup. He thought he had everything he needed to win the Euro Nation Cup. Unfortunately for him, he was defeated 1-0 by Portugal of Cristiano Ronaldo, a player I admire so much. It was not enough for him to back off. He kept on going. 2 years later, he won the World Cup. If you look at the evolution, 2014, he was disqualified from the second round. In France, when he thought he was going to win the Euro Nation Cup, he did not win. If it was, most of us would have said, if I can't win in France, then it means I cannot win. Let me give way. Let me go and let me start doing something else. I think I cannot succeed. But he did not give up. He continued, and he went to win the World Cup in Russia, not even in France. Who could imagine? Who could imagine that the same team that did not win the Euro Nation Cup against Portugal in France could win the World Cup 2018? That is what business is all about. Not being so fairy tale. Have projections, which is normal. Have expectations, but be capable enough to rumble, to even fight, to do all it takes to reach at it. And you must not give up. We give up because we think it's just going to be very easy. We give up because we see ourselves so successful to the point that we don't even ask ourselves, how ready am I? And even when we don't succeed to attain our expectations, we don't see the necessity to sit back and reflect and ask ourselves, what did I not do? This is the period to ask that question. Some of us are out of our jobs now. Some people have been given technical leave. Some people have been home for some time because they are not capable enough to continue their businesses because their partners are out of business because of the COVID-19 saga. They see their expectations. They don't see their expectation being realized. And they ask themselves, is it worth it? No, it is worth it. Yes, you can. Like Obama said, yes. No one can say that yes except you. And you need to tell yourself, yes, I can. No matter your expectations, know that there is a cost to it. And that cost demands a journey. Be ready to take that journey. Do not think that the people you see up there just left one morning and became what they are. It took years for us to have a Bill Gates. It took years for us to have a Mark Zuckerberg. It took years for us to have all the people we can call rich businessmen and women. They accepted their journey. They journeyed to their expectations. And in that journey, you may come across setbacks. Be firm to yourself. You may come across competition because you are not alone. The worst thing that can happen to a businessman is for him or her to think that he is alone offering a particular service or a particular product. You must compete with other people who may have the same expectations like you. You must be ready. It may even demand that you have loss of money. That's why you see somebody will invest money and the money doesn't come out in a business venture. Because probably you thought you were going to make money by getting into this business, and all of a sudden it turns out to be something else. Let no one. Business is not what some media presents. They will tell you if you invest this amount of money, in the next 2-3 months, you're going to make this amount of money. It is common with those who do network marketing. They will tell you if you buy a package for $5,000, you become a billionaire in the next 6 months. And so your mind, you see yourself already a billionaire in the next 6 months. No. That's not business we're talking about. And as an entrepreneur, and as somebody who is already in business, you must be ready for that. Don't go into fairy tale, like I said earlier, because it will not help you. You must be ready for the cause. And that journey may take you 10 years. When we talk of an unrealistic expectation, some expectations are unrealistic in their timing. Indeed. You want to be a successful businessman and build a house of your own, and own a house of your own, and own a car of your own. That is not a bad idea. But the timing, how do you think you can do that in maybe 3 months? How do you think you can do that in maybe 4 months, 5 months? Just your timing alone makes your expectation unrealistic. That's what we are talking here about. We are not saying it is a bad thing to have an expectation, but be realistic. Tell yourself that this expectation, that is why in business we have short-term, long-term, and mid-term objectives. What is my short-term objective? What is my mid-term and long-term objective? You want to buy a car, and you give yourself maybe 2 months, 3 months, and when it doesn't happen, you're discouraged. So some expectations are not unrealistic because of the way they are designed, but also the timing that we give ourselves. When you give yourself that kind of expectation, if you're a Christian, then you're putting God to test. Because if God, who is capable enough to make a man of 40 years and bring into this world to start life, made us such that we leave our mother's wombs as babies and we grow up as children, adolescents, to become adults. It is the same thing. Don't let the timing of your expectation make it unrealistic, because it will fail and you get discouraged to even thinking that wasn't your calling, to even thinking that you need something else. That's why you see people jumping from one business to another. They just need to sit maybe in a family meeting and they see someone who comes and parks a car. And the first thing they ask is, what is that person doing? They say, that man is selling rice. The next day they go and they are now selling my rice. Without knowing that man has been selling rice maybe for the past 30 years. And if they want to be like that man, they want to ride in the same car because he's selling rice. They want to start selling rice today and buy the same car. Maybe it has taken that man 40 years to be where he is today, and you want to come and be there overnight. It's impossible. That's what we're talking about, the timing of an expectation. If you do, you're causing trouble to yourself and to your business idea. It won't go. Dear friends, the last thing I'll talk about today is something very pertinent to us entrepreneurs, especially the young ones. Your expectation can be unrealistic if you think that you can realize that expectation all alone. Dear friends, those who are watching me now, those who are going to watch after this session, because it is going to stay online for people to come and watch at their convenience. Your expectation become unrealistic if you think you can do it all alone. It cannot work. We are going to have a discussion in the days ahead on building a team around your business idea. We'll elaborate so much on this, but for the sake of this discourse, we want you to understand that business expectation doesn't mean you will get to it all alone.